Hi guys, welcome back to Beck's Corner Garden. We're here today to stick some tomato seeds in dirt and officially get our 2022 garden going. We're going to go over the varieties that we're planting and kind of how we're doing it this year. So let's go. We'll start with labels and go from there. So here we are making soil blocks. Basically, we took a potting mix and some peat moss, about a 2-to-1 ratio, and got it really wet to where when you squeezed it, some water still drained out like we were playing in mud. And then you just pack the soil blocker and pop them out. We did get a cheaper soil blocker, and we had to make some we had to fix it after the second time we used it. Like, seriously, the 8th block we made, we had to fix the soil blocker. If we decide we like this method, we're going to go ahead and invest in a better one. But I didn't know anything about them and just kind of wanted to get a feel for it. So here you're seeing each individual soil block going into its own little cup so they don't grow together. Every cup has its own drain holes, and then it's going into a second tray with no holes for watering. And then every tray has this little lid for a humidity dome. And we got enough lids that even the bottom waters we can make into trays eventually, should we need to. And then I'm just going to go through, put a little tag in every soil block, and then you'll see me plant the seed, cover it up with a little bit of soil, and spray it down with a little bit of water, and I just repeat the process for all 50 of the tomatoes. Over here we have 6 trays of tomatoes, and down here we have 4, so 10 trays holding 5 tomatoes each. We're going to start 50 plants, only 22 varieties. So we'll go through those varieties and we'll show some pictures. Chernobyl is one of our favorite yellow tomatoes. They're delicious. And Great White is another one of those super pale, big tomatoes. We have Berkeley Tie-Dye, Trip L Crop, which we're really excited to try. They're supposed to be great producers. And then Get Stuffed, 5 of these because it's one of our favorites. And then in this tray, we have Raspberry Liana, Mushroom Basket, Blue Cream Berries, Blueberries, and Lapsipinnicon Peach. This is our first year to try the Blue Cream Berries, the Raspberry Liana, and the Mushroom Basket. The blueberries is one of our favorites, but we had volunteers come back last year of those. Lapsipinnicon Peach we have tried 2 years in a row. to no success. This is going to be it. We're going to get some this year. I'm sure of it. And then down here on the second shelf, Pink Oxheart, which is one of our favorites. So 5 of those, of course. Over here we have a Zoichka, Big Rainbow, Orange Jazz, Ponderosa, and Pork Chop. Zoichka's the only one in this tray. No, we've grown Big Rainbow too. They're both really good tomatoes as well. Back here we have Tiger Cherry, Tropical Sunset, Super Sweet 100, Black Strawberry Tomato, and a free seed that we had gotten that the little baggie that they're in is labeled 11. So we have a tomato called 11. We don't know if it's a big tomato or a little tomato, a red tomato or a yellow tomato. It's going to be our mystery this year, but it's number 11. So 11. Yep. And then this last tray of tomatoes. There's probably 10 seeds spread out through here, but you know, accidents happen. That one block stayed intact, but you know, fannies weren't watched and it went tumbling. Hopefully the seeds didn't stay on the floor and they came up in the dirt. We're just gonna see what sprouts, and maybe we'll have some yellow stuffer tomatoes to salvage, which we hope so because they're one of our favorites. That's why it was gonna be a tray of 5. But meh, if that's the worst thing that happens, who cares? So up here, because alright, now that we have looked at all of the little setup, I wanted to kind of talk about what we're doing, why we're growing some of the ones that we're growing, and why we like some of the ones that we're carrying over from the previous years of our garden. First off, you'll notice that all of our tomatoes are in these nifty little blocks. These are called soil blocks. These are 2x2, and because we had never done them before, I did only get I think I paid $18 or $22 for it. I didn't get the cheapest soil blocker, but since I didn't know if we liked them or not, I didn't want to spend $80 on one. You know, not cheap, I'm sorry. But we wanted to try these soil blocks because, as you can see, besides the tag, which we can alcohol off and reuse year after year, waterproof marker, so hopefully we will remember and know all year what our tomatoes are. It'll be amazing to know what fruit is coming off what plant before it actually happens. Anyways, besides the tag, which is reusable for years, there's no plastic in this, and we like that idea. We tried the solo cups. If they were exposed to any weather at all, they kind of degraded and cracked. We tried storing the solo cups and cleaning them. It was a pain because every one of them comes apart. You have to have a tray for every one of them to go in. It was just a lot of moving parts. The labels ended up washing away, breaking away. It wasn't conducive to a good gardening experience. So we're hoping that with one, it probably won't end up being just a $20 invested. We'll probably keep the $20 blocker and still get another one, so we can both be making these babies at the same time. But so far, our peppers have really liked it, except when we started them, they were kind of packed closer together, so the roots had kind of started to overgrow a little bit. These are ones that we just separated. The roots were kind of overgrowing more than what the soil blocks are supposed to. But even after we had to kind of tug them all apart, the blocks themselves sustained a little damage, which should be fixable by packing more of the same wet medium that you saw us using to make the blocks at the beginning of the video around. And hopefully it'll be okay in the end. They only have another month or so to survive, so. But yeah, that's how we're starting it. You'll see us using it at the beginning of this video. That's what we were using, and it even has these little divots in the top of it. I thought I had it sitting right here. I was going to show you guys, but I probably put it up. I put things I don't forget all the time, but it even has these little divots in the top of the block as you're making it, so there's a little spot for your seed already as you make it, and you just pop some dirt on top and good to go. They were really quick and simple. We made these little double trays, put some holes in the cups that the blocks sit in. It's a 9 cupcake holder from Dollar Tree, is what they are, and then we set it down inside of another tray, and so we can just bottom water, and then after we plant out, clean the trays, put them up in a little stack with our other trays, and everything will stay good till next year. The tomatoes that we are carrying over from last year are obviously ones that we really enjoy. There are a couple of them that we are only growing a single of, even though we really love them. And there's a couple of new ones that we are growing a full tray of 5 of, even though we've never grown them before. And I'll kind of go over why. But the first one that we're growing a full tray of that we've carried over is the Chernobyl. They are a yellow tomato, really pale, really juicy and delicious, sweet flavored. I love this tomato. It's one of my favorites, and it's one I get excited to grow every year. The same with the Great White, which is another tray of 5 that we're doing. It's a bit bigger, and it is not as much yellow, neon yellow, as it is a super pale, really almost white tomato. This is my Olive. She's needing some love, so we're gonna love on Olive. The other tomato that we are carrying over is the Get Stuffed and the Yellow Stuffer. These two kind of go hand in hand because one is a red and with yellow striped hollow tomato, and the other one is just a yellow hollow tomato. If you've ever had a stuffed tomato, they're delicious. Super tender and sweet, and it just infuses all the rice and everything there with the sweet bitterness of the tomatoes. They look like they could be a bell pepper almost, and they're awesome. Everybody's always really surprised to see them, and it's something that we love to make when we have company over, and then show them the raw tomato. The seed bundles in them actually look like little bundles of gooey brains just all clustered at the very top, and the rest of the tomato is hollow. Strangest thing. It really shows you though how the tomato and the pepper are actually related. Okay, let's try again. The dog ran away and then I dropped my phone. I'm gonna get through this. What? Blueberries, I think. We've grown blueberries for a couple of years now. They're great. Cherry tomatoes, they get really dark, they grow really tall, they put off a lot of tomatoes. I've tried blueberries 3 times. It's like day 3. Got this though. Blueberries, great. Cherry tomato, fantastic. Grow blueberry tomatoes. Um, then one of the only hybrids that we grow in the garden, I think we might have 2, maybe 3 hybrids that we'll do this year. Um, but the super sweet 100 cherry tomatoes, they put off, they're called that because they put off these long trusses of tomatoes. And last year they were great. About almost all of them on the truss would ripen about the same time. Beautiful trusses. They were show-stopping, were delicious. So we like things that are pretty and good at our garden. Grew big rainbow last year, and our plant actually ended up getting shaded out by something. I remember where it was in the bed. It was tucked over in the corner. Sunflowers, I think. Oh yeah, I think it was near the sunflowers that were only supposed to get 4 foot, but they got 15 foot. That package was wrong. Wasn't mad. The tomatoes were. I wasn't. The tomatoes were. But the couple of fruits that we got off the big rainbow were really, really good. And so we wanted to make sure that we tried that plant again, because we're hoping that even though it didn't produce many for us last year, that was more our bad than its bad. So we're going to try those again. Pink oxheart is another one that we will grow every year for the rest of forever. We've grown it 2 years in a row now. One of our best, bigger producers, and like, there's just something about that tomato. Slice that tomato, like, first off, it was off this huge tomato. Like, that was some of our biggest tomatoes last year, especially. Huge tomatoes. And then you get this huge, juicy, soft tomato that looks so good. And then you cut it open, and that flesh is like solid in there. It is just like juicy, solid tomato. Best tomato sandwiches, best sauce, best anything you need a tomato for. As much as I love the Chernobyl and the Zoychka, when you go towards the yellow, because you know tomatoes do have different flavor profiles. It's weird trying them from the stores and stuff. I never really thought so, but then I grew my own, and like a garden fresh tomato is the best tomato you're ever going to get anyways. But when you grow them fresh and they're right there and they haven't traveled on a truck, the difference between a red tomato and a yellow tomato and a black tomato has never been more clear. They're amazing. So pink oxheart for the reds, Chernobyl and Zoychka, great white for the yellows, because I love them all. You know, you got your big slicer, you got your medium tomato, and you got a yellow Roma right there in those 3. So tropical sunset last year. We only had a plant or 2 of it, but those, I mean, they were on the bigger side of cherry tomato-ish, but they tasted like ketchup. They were so sweet and flavorful that we are definitely growing some more of those this year. Last year we grew the Tiger Cherry Roma. I don't really remember it though, so we're growing it again. We only have 1 plant started, and we're going to see how it does and make sure that we actually take note this year as to whether we want to grow it or not again. I'm looking at my list here, and I think I basically went over all the ones that we've grown. I wanted to quickly touch over like a couple of reasons why we wanted to grow some of these. The mushroom basket, if you remember that picture. If you don't, I'll throw it up on the screen again. Here-ish, mushroom basket. You can see why we're growing this one. It's really, really interesting. It's kind of the same reason I want to get my hands on the, some people call it Arkansas Traveler tomatoes, but I've also seen Arkansas Traveler tomatoes photoed as red round ones, but these are like the ones that you pick apart. Anyways, mushroom basket, they're all like accordion shapes like that, crazy. We're really excited to try some of these different, unique, interesting looking ones, and I've heard some pretty good things about the mushroom basket, so we're excited to try it. Another one that we're trying, blue cranberries and the black strawberry. We've heard that those are just really good flavor profiles, and if they're anything like the black cherry tomatoes that we grow, or I like the black cherry tomatoes too, but we're not growing those this year. If they're anything like the blueberries tomatoes that we grow, which we are growing this year and last year and the year before, and we'll probably grow for the rest of forever, they're going to be really good. We've heard some good things about those, so hopefully we found some new favorites. We are going to grow the Triple L crop this year, and we have a whole tray of 5 of those. Those and the next one I'm going to talk about. We've heard that the flavor is great, the production is great. We want to be able to have more of those nice big tomatoes. The surplus that we're not going to use in our everyday summer cooking, that we can have more of to jar, can, whatever, preserve, freeze. We do a lot of freezing of our tomatoes because we're nervous about canning. It's okay. But we want more tomatoes to preserve, so we're hoping that the Triple L crop is going to be one of those production tomatoes that will help us get more to where we're wanting our food production to be. The Berkeley tie-dye is another one that we're growing just because we've heard such amazing things about it from so many different people all the way from Canada to Oklahoma, that how could we not try it? It's supposed to be beautiful, it's supposed to be big, it's supposed to be tasty, all the things that we're looking for in a tomato, so we have a whole tray of them. I'm hoping that they turn out as good as we have heard they are. I think they will be. And another one, we're growing raspberry leona. Heard that they're delicious. They looked pretty. Orange jazz, pork chop we've never grown before. Ponderosa we've never grown before. Mainly growing those just because we've heard okay things about them. The packages caught our eye. We ordered them. We have seeds, or a couple of them we got in seed trays. And so if we have seeds and this variety we haven't tried, we need to try it. And one of these could be our favorite. One that we threw on the have not grown list is one that we have actually grown. We have started it. This will be the 3rd time if these seedlings are still viable for us. The Wapsipinicon peach, or the garden peach. It's supposed to be a little fuzzy golden tomato. I've heard that they're really sweet, really good. They won't freaking grow for it. I'm just like, I'm going to get one of these little shits to grow. I'm going to try a Wapsipinicon peach in 2022. It's the freaking year for it. I want a Wapsipinicon peach. It's been so stubborn. Really, at this point, it's just, I don't even care if it's good or not. I want to grow it so I can be like, I finally grew the thing. But yeah, that's all of our tomatoes. That's all I have to ramble about them. That's all I'm going to say about them. It's probably a really freaking long video anyways, and I'm done with it. So I will see you guys next time when I'm going to do just a quick spin around the room. When I say next time, I mean in like 5 minutes. I don't know, and I'll post it then. But I'm going to do a little spin around the room. I'm going to show you what we have growing downstairs, and then I will fit in a little bit what where we've gone and all this time off that I've taken, because I haven't posted videos. It hasn't been time off yet, but I haven't posted videos. So we'll get updated, and then I'll see y'all next time, maybe. Bye. Happy gardening.